Hello everyone. Today I will be, doing my daily reflection in a different manner. I won't really be sharing on any material, although I do have material prepared. But first, I guess I would like to just talk in general. I do have some points here, so I'll be looking down from time to time. And I guess I will start by sharing my day. So today I woke up around 8 a.m. and I decided to start meditating. So just sitting there and just listening. And as I was listening, suddenly this song popped up in my head. And I recognized the song from, I think, one of the Catholic camps that I attended back in secondary school. And it was titled Set a Fire. It's a really good song. You can check it out if you want. I guess I can. No, I'm not gonna sing it, no. Yeah, it's a really good song though. Then I was actually feeling quite, unsettled from a disagreement I had with my dad yesterday. And it was a misunderstanding because he wanted to offer feedback on the channel, but he didn't realize that I wasn't trying to get views. It was merely an avenue for me to grow in the faith. I mean, views will come if the content becomes good, I guess. Yeah, so I apologized to him this morning, and felt a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. Yeah. So I think humility is key in any situation, because you always have to take the first step to, go out there and apologize, because at the end of the day, a lot of things that we humans argue about are the most trivial things, most, as in most things, not everything lah, but okay. And I guess the second point was Pete told me yesterday that my grandma told me that I was definitely going to become a priest. And I told Augie about this yesterday, and he encouraged me to make, the video, or rather a video of the very first journal entry, which was, discerning my vocation. I just put it up. And yeah. Next, I would like to thank everyone who has played an important role in my faith journey. So in no particular order, but first we have Augie and Lionel. I think both of them have really played a pivotal role in just dragging my ass back into the faith, because what Lionel used to do is, back in the army, last year I think, he would ask me whether I would want to go for a daily weekday mass with him. And this is the period where I've always not understood the value of mass, the significance of mass. And he asked, so I reluctantly agreed, despite, that's why reluctant. And I guess it started there. So I used to go for weekday masses with him whenever we could. It was quite nice. Yeah, and after that we would go to the adoration room and he would do his prayers, and I wouldn't really have anything to do. So at first I would just sit in the silence and just sit there, because it was a really peaceful thing to do. Then I decided to start reading the Bible from Genesis. And it was quite interesting because I never bothered to properly read the Bible before. Yeah, it was never in my, intentions to ever read the Bible. But, this time spent in the adoration room really helped with that. And, the Bible has a lot of hidden wisdom behind it. So even though you might think, oh shit, this is a really old person's thing to do, it's not for me, which is exactly what I thought back then. But honestly, I think it's the best book in the world because it contains a lot of wisdom behind it, and it's still around after so many years, so many generations. So surely people still find a lot of value in it, right? And Augie, because oh yeah, wait, I'm not done with Lionel, so sorry. Lionel also asked me to follow him for a community gathering back last year, around June, July, I think, I'm not sure. So again, I reluctantly agreed because he said that he didn't want to go alone, but I don't think he would have minded going alone lah. It was probably mainly God just talking through him to me, just asking me to come back to him on hindsight, because this community is from the Awaken camp that I had 2 years ago, where I truly discovered that God is real. Although he is not the most tangible being, but he's definitely real. And yeah, so I started to go for weekly Friday sessions and found them to be really meaningful, especially the praise and worship portions. Okay, now we move on to Augie. So Augie is quite like St. Augustine, both, I guess, pretty big sinners in their own ways, but he's a really solid guy. And this is how Augie brought me back into the faith. So when we met, I think in 2018 or something, he introduced me to this Rick Warren book, which I guess provides a reflection for every day of the year. And I started to read it in the army, and it was really good while I read it. I guess my mind wasn't in the right state though, because I stopped after about 3 weeks. Yeah, but that was the start lah. And recently during quarantine, I started to reach out to both Augie and Lionel, and these guys really have a lot to share with the faith, and are really very knowledgeable, especially Augie, you know. He shares a lot of, or rather he has shared a lot of good videos, especially from Ascension Presents and whatnot. And what's it called? Nate and Sultan, yeah. And at first, I thought, these videos seem so long, a bit like my reflections, you know. Sheesh, how I've come, how these videos seem so long, and they just are so unappealing, but I just made myself watch everything he sends. And honestly, these videos are so life-changing actually, because then your eyes are truly open to what God has to say through other people. And I can't really explain it, but maybe I can link some of them. If you guys want, just ask me. Yeah, and during the quarantine period, I used to have daily calls with Augie, especially because, you know, I was really bored. I was alone, self-isolation, and he would talk to me about the faith, and he would always encourage me, saying that, oh, it's really good to have questions. If you have questions, then you have to find answers as well, because only then can you grow in the faith. I think he always said that, you know, being a Catholic, both of us cradle Catholics lah, being a cradle Catholic, it's never easy, because you often take your faith for granted, and if you don't ask questions, if you don't bother to seek the truth behind our religion, then it becomes worthless, because you truly are not invested in it at all. It's a bit like doing homework, you know. If you do homework by copying your friend's homework, then you're not getting out of it, getting anything out of it. Whereas if you really put time and effort into studying what's necessary before doing the questions, then you're truly learning. And I think it applies very well to this scenario here. So yeah, These two guys have been my pillars of support this past year especially. And next we have Joel. So I met Joel in the army's gym back then when I used to hit the gym every day in the army. And it was such a coincidence because he was my secondary school first, or rather secondary, he was my facil back in catechism when I was in secondary school. And I talked to him, and I guess over time he just kept trying to bring me back into the church through events, because he works at OIP also. And it was really nice because when he was talking to me about the School of Witness, SOW, and it seemed like a crazy commitment, 2 months of just God, right? And so I was super hesitant, but then I thought, man, at that point I was pretty secular, and yet I acknowledged that I wanted to know God better. So I was talking to him about it, and I agreed that I thought I wanted to go for the camp so that I could deepen my relationship with God. But I think even though I said that, my heart wasn't in the right place, and so it was probably for the best that I didn't get chosen anyways. Yeah, so but when the camp first, I guess when the applications for the camp first came out, he told me on that very day or the very next day, either one. Anyways, yeah, I think he's been there for me, and I'm very grateful that God has used him as a vessel to really reach out to me, because if not, then I wouldn't be here. Honestly, it's quite crazy how things work, or rather how he works, how God works. Yeah. And next there's Sarah. So back in secondary school, used to attend catechism classes. So during adoration in one of our church camps, I thought, man, Jesus really suffered so much, right? Why not I attempt to kneel through adoration, this entire adoration? So I turned to Sarah and I asked her, hey Sarah, do you want to kneel with me through this entire adoration? And she said yes, to my surprise lah, because I didn't expect that. Adorations are pretty long, you know, and to kneel through the entire thing is quite a task. So I guess my reason for doing that was to feel just a fraction of the pain that Jesus felt while carrying the cross up the hill and getting crucified. It's a super small fraction, but you know, I just find meaning in kneeling all through adoration. Yeah. And so, yeah, forever remember that story, because I think it really impacted me. Yeah. Also shout out to Joseph, you know, because that's what we did during my Awaken camp in J2. Yeah. I made him kneel through adoration with me, and he was also really willing. So it was really nice. Yeah. Shout out to both of them. And lastly, we have the Brothers in Christ. This is a group that I guess I was called to create, to really journey in the faith with me, because I acknowledge that I'm not strong enough to journey alone, and I need people, like-minded people, to journey with me. If not, it's not sustainable. Yeah, I'm weak as a human, and I do need support. So I guess the Brothers in Christ are 6 people strong now, and potentially growing, but we'll take it slow, you know. So I firmly believe that everybody in the group has that desire to really experience God and ultimately get to the kingdom of heaven. So yeah, I'm really thankful for that group. Yeah, so these are honorable mentions. Of course, my family is involved, but you know, these are, yeah. Okay, so it's a bit long. Yeah, it's a bit long. Should I? You know, I was thinking the video is really long, but yeah, we'll make it longer because I still have more stuff to say. So last night I had a couple of really uplifting conversations, but Yeah, okay, so so first I had a conversation with Kelvin, a friend from army, and it was really nice. Yeah, we, I guess, shared a lot of. It was just really nice to talk to somebody who, I guess, shared the faith and who really also wants to get to know God. Yeah, so he told me he was reading the Diary of Saint Augustine, and I told him that I lost my copy. So there's that, and I just feel like conversations with God as its center are just really meaningful in general, and they just help both people or everyone involved to just grow in the faith together. I'm really thankful for that. So thank you to Kelvin. And after that, before Kelvin, we actually prayed the rosary, or rather, I prayed the rosary with other university students, other Catholic university students entering uni this year. And I saw Kai there. So Kai used to be or rather, yeah, it's an old friend from primary school. And it was really nice to see him again. So I decided to reach out to him to catch up. And yeah, so I called him after that at night at around 10:30. And I didn't expect the conversation to go the way it did, but it was a really uplifting conversation, again with Christ as its center. And yeah, I write here, felt good to catch up with an old friend, and felt even better to catch up through God as a medium. Yep. And lastly, but I think most impactfully to me, I had this conversation with my boy Gabriel, whom I met at work. Gabriel, right? He also has had a calling to priesthood, and so here is I guess, the gist of his story. So his grand aunt always tells him to become a priest when they meet, and this is a 1 in 4 chance, same as me, because both of us have 3 siblings each. So technically, his grand aunt could have picked any of his other siblings, assuming they're guys. I don't know whether they're guys or not. I haven't asked him. Yeah, anyway, could have picked any of his other siblings and called them to the faith, but she chose him. And similarly, my grandmother chose me. So yeah, really relatable story here. And so I write here, God seems to be calling us out. Not fun to be called out, to be honest, because yeah, a lot of commitment, but we'll pray about it. Both of us find it scary because, as I said, there's a lot of commitment, and yeah, our dreams do not coincide with his plan for us, because both of us want to start a family, and obviously if you are a priest, you cannot start a family. There's no way. I think being brought up in a household with 4 children each, the 2 of us we can really relate to the pros of having a big family, because it's just so much fun, and it just feels so, I guess you don't really get lonely at home, because there's always someone to disturb. In my case I don't know about him, and there's always somebody to talk to. And I guess my fear is that when I enter priesthood, there will not be anybody to, I'll get lonely more often. But I know that is just my insecurity speaking, because God has a plan for each and every one of us, and He knows all our insecurities and all our fears. So I should just step out in the faith, to be honest. I was just telling him about that. And the crazy thing is that he told me that he's been to the seminary before, and he told me that they have a crazy gym there, and he said that the brotherhood they have between the seminarians are also quite crazy. They would eat together, pray together, play together, like base sports and yeah, it just sounded so ideal suddenly. It's crazy Walao. So yeah, we'll pray about it. And honestly, I told him through the call that I know that God has a plan for us, and although it's intimidating, we definitely shouldn't shy away from it, because His plan for us will always be greater than the plan that we have for ourselves. Yeah. We'll pray about it, we'll journey in the faith, we'll see how it goes. Anyways, thanks for watching this really long video. Peace.